posture. I've been asked a lot lately about how to do a proper lotus pose or Padmasana, and I've kind of taken a little while to answer this question because I feel it kind of opens up a whole can of worms. And luckily today I was able to go to a yoga and the knee workshop with my teacher and learned a ton, so I'm really excited to be able to share it all with you. Lotus posture I find a little bit controversial because depending on a person's body, it can end up being a little bit of contortion and can be quite hazardous to certain joints of the body. So with addressing sitting in general, we're focusing on three major joints of the body. We have the ankles, the knees, and the hips. And, you know, Lotus basically is supposed to be a rotation of the hip joint. But a lot of times what happens is, you know, kind of depending on genetics, people have a looseness to the knees, kind of they're genetically predisposed to that. But also just anybody, if their hips are tight, it's quite easy to push torsion into the knee and kind of force the pose, which isn't yoga. I don't believe it's yoga. So with thinking about the ankle to start with, in any seated posture, we want to have a strong ankle. We don't want to have a collapsed ankle. So if we think about a strong standing foot, the ankle has integrity, you know, in line with the big toe of the foot, in line with the knee. But there's a tendency when we go to sit to just let the ankle collapse. See how I have, I don't know if you can see a bunch of wrinkles here. And, you know, like I'm in this, you know, fancy half lotus pose, but by letting this ankle collapse, I'm allowing the rotation of my upper and lower leg to put torsion into my knee. And that torsion, the way that the anatomy of the knee is set up is it kind of creates like a mortar and pestle against the meniscus of the knee and can result in pain and tears of the meniscus, which is one of the most common injuries in yoga. From, you know, any kind of basically supposedly hip opening posture where torsion goes into the knee and can create an injury. So if I think about the ankle and I kind of hold it in my hand, I have this weak, sickled ankle, right? There's a lot of wrinkles here, it's kind of sickled. You know, if I put it in, I kind of blah, like that. And I hold the baby toe base in my fingers and I push my ankle into it. I push my foot into it. And I smooth out this area, smooth out those wrinkles, and I can now have a strong, like I'm not gonna, can't really move it around, I have a strong ankle. We translate that to a standing foot. It's like a standing foot, right? It's the way the body was kind of meant to move, or the way it's meant to support the body, right? So I have a strong ankle. And if I bring my leg up towards a half lotus posture, and I keep that strong ankle, suddenly the pose looks very different. And my knee's way up here, instead of when I let the ankle sickle, it's down there. What this is telling me is that I have tightness in my hip that I need to address before I'm going to be attempting any full lotus posture, which, you know, I probably could. I let this knee come down and I just, you know, pull this other one up, but that's incredible pressure that I put onto my knee. I don't want to deal with that. And I have had in my practice periodically feeling an inner knee tenderness. And it's really important when that happens to think to the joint below and above what's going on there. Because, you know, this joint rotates, right? My ankle joint can go around all over, do lots of things. And my hip, right? It's a ball and socket joint. But when we come to the knee, and I try to rotate it with keeping my hips still, I can, you know, it allows for a little bit of rotation, but primarily that's not its purpose. Its purpose is a hinge joint. And we want to maintain that integrity throughout our yoga practice instead of compromising it and creating injuries. Right? We're trying to make the body healthier with yoga, hopefully. So if I keep the ankle strong in all of my seated postures, it comes to here, well, I'm not ready to do Lotus. And I don't want to do anything that my body's not ready for. I would much rather do a seated hippopreneur, maybe Gomukhasana, strong ankles, and then I can feel it. It feels great. This pose, I'm kind of, well, I don't know, I guess I'm just sitting. But it wouldn't be very comfortable for any long period of time. My body's, not ready, to sit in this posture. So when we think about sitting, it's much easier for my body. I have these ankles with integrity. My knees are lower than my hips. This is what I would choose if I'm going to meditate or sit for a long period of time, where I'm maintaining the health of my joints. Another option for sitting, of course, is just a simple Vajrasana, but again, strong ankles and pushing into my toes, gathering the ankle together to maintain the integrity there and through the knee. Of course, if this is difficult, put a blanket between the knees. You can also put a blanket, to kind of train the ankles and help them get some support. Put a blanket there, put a block here. Basically, what I really want you to do is to do whatever your body feels good in. And I think it's really important that as fancy as Lotus posture may be, it's important as a yoga student to understand where your body is at and what it's ready for, not to push it. Especially with a lot of the injuries that have happened in the yoga scene over the last, basically since it came into the Western world. It's important to kind of learn from all of those mistakes and see how yoga applies to our body in our day-to-day lives. We have different lives than, the super yogis in India did when they were, then they've been practicing for all of these years. So I hope that this provides you with a lot of information and that you can take into your practice. I'm sorry that it didn't result in me doing a fancy Lotus posture, but it's really not that important to me, and that's kind of what yoga is all about, is just designing what you want to accomplish in your practice and how you want to feel in your body. So, have fun! Thanks for watching!